So when you're moving, you're always going to look at the things that are great about that city. And there's a lot of people sharing what they love about a certain spot in the city or a certain area. Well, in today's video, I'm going to actually be honest and share with you the cons of living in the downtown core of Toronto. You see, I get asked this question a lot as what are things that I'm not going to like about a certain area. And in today's video, we're going to talk about the things that you may really not know about, and some people may not tell you about living in the downtown core. So let's get right into it and get started. Hello, everybody. My name is Nasira Jamal. I'm a local realtor right here in the Greater Toronto area. If you're new to this channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about living, working, playing, eating, sleeping, and maybe even some things that other people might not tell you about living in the Greater Toronto area, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notification on so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. Honestly, I get calls all the time from people that are relocating into the area, and I absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving into the Greater Toronto area, make sure you give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. Heck, you can even send a pigeon carrier. I've got your back when you're moving into the Greater Toronto area. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you, and I know this is actually going to really surprise you, is that if you're living in the downtown core, it can really stink sometimes. What I mean by that is in the summer on hot, humid days, you will smell garbage in the streets when you're walking, when you're out and about. It's just one of those things that the city has when you're living down there, and sometimes it even really seeps into your apartment or your condo. And this is something that, my clients that do move out there tell me that though it's not all the time in some of those hot, muggy summer days, this is a problem. And it's good to know that it's not just you, right? So it is something that passes. It's something that you will have to get used to. However, it is one of those things that a lot of people don't talk about just because it just stinks, right? So that's one thing that you want to note. The other con that I would talk about is just, overall, Canadians are really nice people. They've got good etiquette, but in downtown Toronto, what you find is people can be rude. And this is like sometimes when you're waiting for the bus or you're trying to get on the bus, there's people that are pushing, there are people trying to get on, and they don't seem to show common courtesy to others. And what I'll tell you is really, I don't think it's so much that they're not nice people. I just think because there's always such a rush in downtown, there's so many cars, there's so many people, there's just so much going on that people just get wrapped up into that busyness and kind of lose sight of the courtesy aspect. So overall, I think Canadians are great. They're very courteous. They're just nice people. They're always willing to help. But in the downtown core, you may find that this is something that will annoy you. And what really a lot of my clients tell me is when they live down there, is they plan to get to the bus stop or to the train station just a little bit earlier to be sort of ahead in the line, or, so that they can avoid some of this. But just, overall, there is order in the city. It's just this hustle and bustle, or this movement where people are just trying to get things done really, really quickly. It brings about this thing that you can maybe attribute to looking like rudeness. So that is something that can be annoying. The other thing that will really annoy you is really the amount of traffic. And I know I've talked about this in other videos, but if you are right in the downtown core, you're always going to be amidst a lot of traffic, and there's going to be a lot of construction, which means that traffic is generally gridlock, right? So that's just something that you want to get your head around, is that you're going to allow more time to get around. I find that mostly wherever you are in the downtown core, no matter where you're trying to get to, it's going to take you an hour. So what may really in terms of, how far it is, should only take you 5 to 10 minutes. You'll really find that it's going to take you an hour no matter which direction you're heading. So allow for more time. You just have to really just give yourself that extra bit of start time leeway so that you don't get frustrated, or if you're going to work and you don't want to be late, then just give yourself that extra time, a buffer, so to speak, so that you don't get frustrated or overwhelmed, because you are going to get, you know, you're going to get the traffic, and you're going to get you're going to get delayed. The other con to that, speaking of traffic, is just the overcrowdedness. Like, you will find people everywhere. And I say this, just for you to know, whether you're going to work, whether you're going to the grocery store, or you're just going for a walk in the park, you are going to find people everywhere. So to find a sweet spot where it's just you and nature, or just you in a quiet spot, it's really difficult to find in the city. So you have to get your head around that. If you want to get some space, you will be able to travel a little bit outside of the Toronto core and get into an area that offers more of the green space, more of open space, where you're not really surrounded by people all the time. But in the downtown core, that is something you have to know, that you will always be around people, and that, may get to you. And this really leads me to the next con, which is noise. It doesn't, like Toronto, downtown Toronto does not sleep. And much like New York or any other large city, it's constantly going. The lights, the flickering, the cars, the buses, the people, it's just constant movement. So that's something that, the noise factor has to be taken into account. And of course, when you're living in a condominium or a home, you don't get the noise factor inside the property or wherever you're living, but you do have noise as just part of the landscape of living in the downtown core. So I know I've addressed this, and other videos that you may have watched also tells you this, that really one of the cons is that it's expensive to live right in the downtown core. Whether you are renting, you're looking at about $2,000 a month on average for even just a one-bedroom apartment. Or if you're purchasing, you're well over $600,000 for a small apartment or a condominium. And this is where, you have to really consider how important is it for you to live in the downtown core, whether it, because of convenience where your job is. Perhaps you don't have children that need to get to school, and you're not, fighting traffic for that, or, you're not really wanting to be in an area where it's a lifestyle that's more calmer, I would say, or a little bit slower. If that is something that you choose to do and live for in the downtown core, then yeah, this is great. You will love downtown Toronto. But if you are looking for something a little bit slower paced, a little bit quieter, a little bit less crowded, then the downtown core will not be for you. Okay, so I want to talk about, just again, part of the, rudeness, or the courtesy, the lack of courtesy, that's what I should really say, is you'll find that people, when you're on the bus, are not generally going to give up a seat for you unless you're visibly disabled or something like that. Typically, you're not going to find chivalry on the bus where somebody will get up for you to give their seat up for you, generally speaking. I mean, you may find the odd time, but overall, really, it's each man for himself. So that is something that, being part of a larger city, living in its downtown core, you are going to lose that courtesy piece. And if that's really important to you, this will really become frustrating for you if you live in the downtown core. And speaking of the busing, you will find that the TTC has a lot of breakdowns. Like, you'll find that there's either maintenance going on or something breaks down, and it really throws off your scheduling for transportation if you're going to work or wherever you're trying to get to in the city. So again, one of the things I tell my clients is just allow yourself a buffer time. This will really alleviate a lot of stress. It will give you peace of mind that you will get to where you're getting to in case there is a glitch, in case there is a breakdown in the transportation, or something happens and there's an accident which is delaying things. You always want to make sure that you have extra time that you allow for in terms of moving around in the city. So if you're thinking about moving into the Toronto downtown core and you want to go see some condos or you want to check out some of the different areas, you got to give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, or heck, you can even send a pigeon carrier. I've got your back when you're moving into the downtown core. I'll catch you in the next video.